In this video, I'll share with you why you should stop trying to be right and just focus on trading a system that gives you an edge. In this video, I'll share with you a couple examples that I think make that point very glaringly. And before we jump in, I'll say that the strategy I'm going to share with you here is a strategy that I've developed that I'm comfortable in trading. I'm not suggesting you trade in cryptocurrencies. I'm not a financial advisor. Also, if you're not part of the Discord group, join the Discord group. You'll see links to everything that I mentioned here down below. Okay, so I'll just mention that here before we move forward. But let's jump in and let me talk about why this is so important. So the best way to probably do this is let me show you a trade or a series of trades that I did and why I don't focus on being right. Okay, so here's the story, or here's generally how I look at some of these trades. So this one trade style that I do is something new hits an exchange, like Storm, for instance. Okay, it just hit Binance, and I never trade anything new to an exchange until maybe about 6 to 7 days later when it gets to a base. Okay, so that's about here. You're seeing that Storm hits, there's a sell-off, right? And then it kind of hits a low, and then it kind of goes through a couple, maybe pushes up, right? You're seeing that here. And then I trade a strategy where I'm basically wrong quite a bit. Okay, and this is where I think a lot of new traders, they find this very hard to do. But I'll share the end of where I'm at. I've got the original capital out of this trade. I've cashed out at and I'll just show at right around 260%. Also, I'm still up in a position that is 145%. Okay, not bad trading, right? Pretty good numbers. Okay, so how did I get there? And this is where it frustrates a lot of people. Okay, so I started buying positions here. Okay, and I started buying positions with a 5% stop loss. Now, the tool that I use for that is this tool that you see in action here. This allows you to create stop losses on your positions, trailing stops, and trailing take profits. The link to this tool is down below. It's an awesome tool. You should definitely use it. So I won't mention much more about this tool in this video, but it's something you should definitely take a look at. So what I would do, and this is where I think it frustrates a lot of people, especially new investors, is that I don't try to be right. I will enter positions on downtrends here with a 5% stop loss. So let me edit this here. Okay. And I don't have it doesn't tell you to put 5%. So I'll just do this. So with a roughly 5% stop loss. Okay. And I will buy that position until I have a profitable trade. Okay. Now, of course, I try to focus on buying at the best position. I'm reading the chart, reading indicators, everything else, right? But I was stopped out of this trade three times before I actually got to a profit level that you see here, okay? And I also scalped this multiple times and everything else. But so I would enter a trade here and I'm stopped out here, okay? So what did I do? Well, I would enter a trade here on this downtrend and I was stopped out here, okay? I was stopped out right here. Well, what did I do? Well, I entered a trade on this downtrend and I was not stopped out, right? Now, I originally started entering trades over here, right? So I entered one trade here and was stopped out. And then I did scalp this position, but I don't want to tell the full story of everything I've done. The key is that I've entered 3 trades here that were take profit levels at what I thought was 40 to 50%. And I was stopped out 3 times. I was down 15%, right? And eventually, I bought a position, and it started to make its rise up, okay? Now, I also added to my position right around here. So when I saw that there was excitement being built for this asset, I added to my position here. And then as it was moving up and down this day, I scalped this multiple times. Now, I'm not saying everybody should do that because I'm fortunate. I get to trade full time, and I happened to be trading this day. So I was fortunate to be able to catch this move and this other move, right? So I was able to scalp this 10 to 12 times, right, in this range. And same with this, okay? So I'm not saying everybody is able to do that, but I was able to add to this position because, number one, I've already identified it as something that I think has a potential for this strategy. And then I was able to see the move and then add to that strength, right? And then I sold out my first position right around here. And then I've added other positions, right? As it went down, I started adding to these positions. And I've got all my original capital out, right? All the original capital out I've got. And then I've added to positions and I've scalped. And when I scalp, sometimes I leave a little bit in there, right? So I'm mentioning this because this all started from me not trying to be right, okay? Just trading a system that I believe in, getting stopped out. But some people, after that second and the third being wrong, they'll give up on a system that they've developed, okay? Let me show you another example. NCASH. There's another example. I did the same thing in NCASH. I actually thought I missed the opportunity here because I thought the breakout was here. So I bought this downtrend here, right here. Sorry, it's probably hard to see, so I'll try to make it easier to see. I bought this downtrend here, and I was stopped out. And I was stopped out this whole way down. So I was stopped out so many times on this right here. I was probably stopped out here, and I should get you the exact numbers, so I apologize. But I'm just giving you generalities. I was stopped out probably here. I wasn't here, but probably here. I was stopped out probably here. Some of these I did tighten the profit levels just to kind of make some of the trade. But then I was stopped out here. And the one thing that is painful for people is that as the price was going down, I was increasing the position size. So these positions were relatively small. Comparatively, because then I was gonna play the breakout, right? But as it was going down, I was increasing the position size. Once again, this is contrary to, I know, a lot of people, and they'd be like, okay, now you're getting stopped out at bigger position size at 5%, right? And my final position, I did not get stopped out of, but it was larger. It was larger. It was like the combination of these two positions that I would have got stopped out here, right? So once again, I'm trading a system that I've developed that to me gives me an edge that I believe in, okay? I believe in my system. I believe it gives me an edge. I trade this system, right? So I was probably down on aggregate probably 20 or 30% maybe. And then what happened? It took off, right? And it took off. And then we sold positions up here, and I scalped some of this move here. And we've been kind of, I haven't traded this as consistently as I did Storm, but I have been trading these moves, okay? And I've got my original capital out. So this run up here, where we sold here, probably in the middle here, at about just a little shy of 100%, got all of our original capital out. We still have a position riding for an upside, and we're adding to downtrends every now and then, right? But I'm not trading NCASH as much. I don't like the project as much as as other people. So I'm very cautious with this project. Okay, so I don't want you to lose the point that I started with. Okay, I should have probably started with NCASH. I was down, so I was wrong so much. If we use the long tool here, right? I was down so much on this trade, or I was wrong so much on this trade, most would have given up. And I'm not saying that I just like punishment, okay? Obviously, I'm not going into this where I'm just like, hey, let me just buy and buy and buy. I'm not insanely doing this, okay? I'm still using fundamentals as much as you can in this market, and I'm still trading a system, but I'm also trading a system that I'm comfortable with. So you'll see here, if you just use the long tool, you can see that, well, you were stopped out at even 6%. Okay, well, I bought here, I was stopped out, right? As soon as I'm stopped out in a trade like this, I look for the next place to buy. Okay, so I'm stopped out, and I still look at the fundamentals. I actually look at the chart from a new perspective and say, okay, would I still do this trade? But on most of these, if I've identified this as one of these type of moves that I think has a move like this, then I will look for a place to buy. let me show you a real life example. Let me show you a new example. WPR. Okay. WPR just recently hit Binance, and it's what, 1 or 2 days old, right? And so what do you think I'm gonna do, right? Well, hopefully you said, well, you're gonna wait a week like you usually do, right? Wait that week, and then what are you gonna do? Well, you're going to start buying your positions with a 5% stop loss, right? And it might be more. The thing that you want to do with these type of things too is that you can look at the exchange, another exchange, and you can see previous price history. So I'll look at that and say, well, maybe it should be 7%, right? But I'll do that. I'll do 5%. And what will I do? I'll start buying positions with a take profit of like 50%, and I'll start buying positions. And I already did buy a position here, and I was stopped out. So I got a little aggressive. I bought a little position just to kind of see, you know, can I maybe scalp here, right? And I did not get cashed out because I put the exit. I actually bought this here, and I put the exit at 10%, and I did not reach my 10%, just shy of 10%. So I got a little aggressive here, okay? I bought too early. So once again, even though I think I'm a pretty good investor, pretty good trader, I still make stupid mistakes in my opinion, which is like, hey, you created this rule that says you never buy something that hits a new exchange or on a new exchange within the first week. And then what do? You go there and buy, and then what do I do as well? I get too aggressive with my profit targets, right? See, if I would have been less aggressive and just said, hey, let me just do 7%, I would have been cashed out, right? If I would have just said 7%. But no, I said 10, right? So this is a prime example of me bending the rules a bit. So I'm waiting right now on WPR. But what do you think I'm going to be doing in a week, right? In a week, I'm going to be buying, setting my stop loss, and setting my stop profit. And if I'm hit a stop loss and I'm exited out of that trade, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to look for the next opportunity to buy. And because I've identified WPR is, if you look at it, looks oddly familiar, right? Look at Storm. Storm's kind of doing the same thing, right? See that little bit of a hey, wow, Storm's awesome, right? 19% up. That's not bad. And then kind of more of like a just getting down, and then kind of more to a consolidation phase, right? Huge consolidation phase. Not a lot of volume, but some consolidation, right? Well, WPR, same thing, right? Oh, WPR is kind of cool, right? Okay, well, not really, right? Now it's going to go down, and I'd expect we're going to see a huge consolidation phase, right? Could not, but I'm going to be taking positions regardless. So the second that this goes a little bit lower, probably below this 1,300 Satoshis, and maybe I won't get that opportunity. As you see here, it's paint, well, it's the next hour. But if we look at the 5-minute, I might take a position here. Okay, I'll after this actual video here, I'll look at it, but might take a position here. And what will I do? I'm not looking to be right. I'd like to be right. I like to make profitable trades, but I'm trading my system. So, and I'm probably going to harp on this too long or make this point too long here, but literally, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm sharing this, and I'll be sharing this in my Discord group if you're in the Discord group, and I've already shared this already, which is I'm doing this with SYS too. Let's look at SYS. SYS. I'm still in positions on SYS right now. I did this early. So now you're probably saying, hey, didn't you just say a rule about something in a week and everything else? Yeah, but what did I do? Well, on this one here, I reduced my stop loss, okay? And I'm looking to make right around 5%. Not my stop loss, my profit. So I'm looking to just do a quick scalp. See, what I like to do, and I should mention this too, is when things do hit an exchange, you can watch them, okay? And they can be on your radar. But there's nothing like having capital in a position that makes you watch that a little bit more, right? So if you have capital in a position, you're watching that trade a lot more than if you don't have capital in that trade, right? So I like to put capital in a trade because then it forces me, even on a psychological number, to actually watch that. Plus, I have capital at play, right? So one of the things is I put my stop loss at 4% on this, okay? And we are up right now, probably like a percent, right? But this is, once again, breaking the rule, but I'm looking to ride the same type of thing that you've seen on here, where it actually just kind of does a quick little rise and then gets stuffed by sellers. I'm looking to kind of just do a quick scalp on that. But what do you think I'm going to do on SIS? I keep asking you like you can answer. You're probably like, hey, man, I can't answer you. Or I guess you can in the comments. So definitely leave a comment below. If you got this far in the video, I always wonder if I drone on too long, right? I try to make this stuff as like focused and add value. Like every minute or so, I try to add a new insight or something. That's what I try to focus on. So if you got to this point, then say, hey, yeah, I got to this point. So here I'll trade this, but until it gets to like a week out where there's a base of some type of trading activity on this exchange, right? I'm going to just make my profit really small, unless I see that it's going to moon, right? And I hate the word moon, but let's say it's going to take off. It's going to really go to the upside. If I see there's strength there, right, and excitement, some kind of news comes out or something, then I'll start trading that a little bit more aggressively, you could say. Okay. Now, one thing I'll end with is you might be wondering, well, how do you look at previous price action? This is pretty simple. The easiest thing to do is just go to coin market cap. I'll type in SYS, right? And then go to markets here. Okay. And then isn't this interesting? I mean, SIS was just added, right? And SIS was just added to Binance, but it's already the top exchange, right? Which is a given. I mean, Binance is a huge exchange, but it beat the previous exchanges within just being a day on there, right? It's now 34% of the volume, right? So it just shows the power of Binance. Now, if we go here, this is really annoying. I don't know why I consistently get that check. So, all you have to do is go to the previous exchange, okay? And just look at the price action. And for some reason, it's not even showing it here. I don't know why. And maybe this is new completely. So maybe, no, this isn't new completely. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't showing. Why does this not have 4 hours? So look at this. So a lot of times what you'll see is you'll see a huge run up when something's about to hit Binance or a new exchange. And that's why there's downward pressure, okay? But what you're looking for is what's the trading range, okay? What is the trading range? And at some point in time, it got up to the 10,000 Satoshi level, right? At some point in time. And now it's trading right around the 38, right? So you can even look here. Here's more of the trading range here before a huge run up, which is around the 1,000 Satoshi range right here. See? So if we go to SIS and we look and see, right? It does have a lot more downside it could go to, but it also has been on the upside, right? So you don't know. I don't know. I can look at the previous history of this trading here, and we're kind of in the middle of a range here. Like right here, I can't draw on this, but we're kind of in the middle of a range here. So it probably does have some movement down, but it could also create a foundation here, a base of trading, and then move up, okay? I don't know. And I do feel that this is still a good trade, something I should put capital at play in. So what am I going to do? I'm going to follow my plan, okay? And once again, it goes back to the point that I started with, which is I'm not trying to be right. I like to be right, okay? I'm not just trading off I'm not just entering this trade willy-nilly. I don't think I'd ever use that word in a video. But I'm not just making this trade and not thinking about it, okay? I'm following my technical analysis and everything else, right? So I'm just not, oh, it hit an exchange, let me trade this strategy. I'm not doing that. I'm just sharing that I'm not looking to be right, okay? If I get stopped out, Okay, great. I still look at, am I thinking right here? Is this the right trade? And then I will find a place to enter with a stop loss. And if I get stopped out again and I feel the same way, I'll continue to do that. Okay. And I might be down 20% before I make that 100, 200%, right? Now, this doesn't work on everything, right? Once again, so don't go out there and just start doing this on everything you see out there. But it's worked on the majority of ones that I trade this style on. And the second that I think it's not going to work, I don't do it on that asset anymore, okay? So it's worked on Storm. I believe it's going to work on SIS, and I believe it's going to work on WPR. Okay, so hopefully that's all clear on what I've shared here in this video. If it's not, leave a comment below. You'll definitely want to join our Discord group. Good conversations there all around. In addition, I share trades, Bitcoin direction, and everything else. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.